Hi friends, Simit here from informedtrades.com. In this video, I want to talk about supranational institutions, what they are and the implications they have for Forex traders, how traders can use them to sort of gain an edge in the market. First, supranational institutions are basically alliances or unions, you could say, of countries working together. So it's sort of like countries agreeing to work together. As a result, these supranational institutions can have major political forces. They can establish how countries and how nations are going to work together, the ideas and legislations that nations will pursue, the economic policies they'll pursue. So understanding these supranational institutions, the psychology of the individuals driving them, can sort of help traders understand where the governments of the world, how they may be working together in a way to push the economy, or what directions they're pursuing. Understanding the psychology can help traders understand where profit opportunities are going to rise, where the market's being pushed. The first institution I wanted to mention here is the International Monetary Fund. It's an organization of 187 countries. Basically, these 187 countries, these member countries, contribute to a pool of funds that the members can borrow from. So it's sort of like an economic co-op, you could think of it. You know, everybody contributes, everyone has the right to borrow. The idea is to ensure global economic stability, whereas if one country falls into a crisis, it has a fund that it can borrow from. Sort of like economies working together to create global stability. That's at least the idea behind the IMF. It does have a significant amount of political influence with nations. There are 187 member nations, so it is the largest supranational organization, basically. The IMF does publish key economic data regarding central bank activity as well. So the IMF is, helping countries work together. It's also monitoring central bank activity. If you go to imf.org, you can see a lot of economic stats on central bank activities, what they're doing, changes that are occurring over time. This information can be very useful for Forex traders. There's also talk that the IMF will be issuing a new currency, special drawing rights. That currency is actually already in existence, but there's talk of it playing a more prominent role in being the international reserve currency. That will have a big impact on the currency markets if that does come to fruition. So that is something that Forex traders may wish to pay attention to and be aware of. The IMF is, or excuse me, the World Bank. The World Bank is like the IMF, except that it's private market oriented. So whereas the IMF is sort of like an economic co-op of member countries all sharing into a fund, contributing to a fund they can borrow from, the World Bank is more about private institutions contributing to a fund or investing in a fund, and this fund making loans to make infrastructure investments in countries. Because the World Bank is making loans, is a fund that makes loans to countries, it can have a big impact on government bond markets. The IMF and World Bank, their advocates will say these institutions, or their proponents will say these institutions help to stabilize the global economy, help economies that are struggling to catch up and grow and prosper. That's the positive side. In terms of the critics, the IMF and World Bank have both been criticized of serving private corporations and of entrapping nations in debt and contributing to the global debt crisis. G20. The G20 basically consists of the finance ministers and central banks of the 20 major economies. If you look on the screen, you'll see a map of the world. The countries in green, the regions in green, are the ones that are represented in the G20. The G20 is an informal institution. It lacks the ability to make rules. What can be important for Forex traders is that because this is another way that central banks and economies of the nations can work together, the comments that are revealed or made by central banks and economic leaders at G20 events can signify where the economic leaders are trying to take the global economy. It can help us understand their psychology, which can help individual traders understand where the market may be headed. Questions traders can ask: who's in charge of these supranational institutions? What do the leaders of these organizations want? Again, understanding their psychology can be a big key or big edge. If you understand where the big market movers want to take the market, you can get an idea of where the market's headed and how you can ride that. And of course, what trading opportunities is this creating? For the full article and to discuss this with us, you can join us over at informedtrades.com. Thanks, and best of luck in your trading.